think of this episode as a how to get started playbook. And even if you decide to get off the train right now and say you don't want to listen to it because you're busy or something, just take this one thing. If you think of immigrating to a new country, come with an open mind. Yeah. It's so easy to complain and talk and all that stuff. But you know what? You're starting life afresh. So come with an open mind. Enjoy. So I'm going to start off with just asking, you've been here 13 years now. Like, that's a while. So I feel like you're Canadian, Indian, or more Canadian than Indian. But what I was just going to ask is, if you think about Canada then and Canada now, same country, different country.
It is definitely different because when I came in, so how I came into Canada was my husband came as a student. So, we were living on campus. And of course, so I was in the student world when I just came in. And of course, there were less number of people. The number of people has increased. But otherwise, I think, it has not really changed. It has grown. That's what I would say that, now I think it's, I live in Toronto, so I feel it's grown in a positive way because, when you have more, growth happening, when you have more people coming in, new businesses starting in, that's when, so it's changed in a positive way. According to
So, can you point out a couple of those things that you feel like Canada has grown with or grown by the past 13 years?
Oh, so if like say there are certain areas where I would go before there was like, it was just I couldn't see there were just a few houses there. Now I can see a lot more development happening in those areas, a lot of new buildings coming up, and I personally know of people, a lot of people are immigrating, and a lot of people starting new businesses. So it's just, and you can just see more people on the road. You can see more cars on the road, on the same roads, right? So
Are
it
you
definitely shows.
serious?
Yeah. So it's more people, right? So it is, that's something I would say. But again, that also increases competition, I would say, because, I don't know if it's in the same proportion, the job opportunities have increased. So I know, so if there's this one opportunity, more people are fighting for it. So the competition has increased, but then competition is always good, right? So that brings the best.
Yeah. I find what you say interesting because it feels like you're giving me a mental picture of people talk about Canada wants more people. And unless someone who's been here for a while, just like how you're describing it right now, like people on the roads have increased because like you're seeing the effects of more people moving into the country. I mean, for me, I just moved here 3 years ago, so I probably can't see it that way. But it's just like that thing you say, is like, as you were saying, all I was thinking about was every single time you see an immigration pitch, it's always like, oh, we need more people in the country. And I mean, you do go around sometimes and you look at all the land and you're like, who's going to live on all this space that they have over here?
Exactly, but the country has become more expensive. The inflation has gone up, so things which I can see the house prices have increased. So it's so that's of course there is always the two sides to the coin all the time. So it's become more expensive, definitely.
Yeah, the house prices I mean, everyone talks about it these days.
Yeah.
And now, just kind of tapping into your experience, like 13 years in, like, what do you think that if you were to talk to someone who's coming in now, because I feel like you've seen Canada grow and you're really well settled in now. Like, what are the things you would say to someone who's coming in now, like how to get it right playbook for a new immigrant? Like top 3 things the person should do to hit the ground running, that sort of thing.
Right. So what you have to do is, of course, first of all, come with an open mind. So sometimes we always come with preconceived notions, and you have to be ready for for change, be more accepting, and maybe drop any baggage that you have in terms of sense of entitlement. So probably you probably went to the best school back home, right? You probably had a great job back home, but do not expect that people would be treating you exactly the same way that you were here. This is a level playing field, and sometimes you have to reset and start from the beginning, to be open to that change, be open minded, and embrace opportunities. That is because you have a lot of opportunities here if you actually look for it. And one of the things I would say is, of course, look for your job in your field, and be more open to be to different opportunities. Yes, at the same time, always try to have multiple streams of income. So that is something people should be working on. Not just depend on, always have your eggs in different baskets. So don't just depend on one job. Always try to have create multiple streams of income. And I'm a financial educator. That's what I do. So, and to be smart with your finances, that is something. So it's about save money the right way from day one. So it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. So you have to make sure that it's like you are being smart with your money. Understand how money works, because you could be making a lot of money, but if you're not saving anything, you are pretty much on the same point.
Mm.
So that's something, you have to plan your budget, your finances properly, so that you don't realize that you're in Canada for so many years and you haven't saved anything. So those are the few things, because here you can actually run out of if you're not saving the right way, if you're not smart about your finances, you can be you will realize, oh, I've been in Canada for 10 years and have no saving. So that's something I would recommend new immigrants to be smart about.
And I really like this point on savings, and I'm just we'll stay on that a bit in the sense that, so how do you now manage, you move to a new country, you're trying to settle in, new
Hmm.
experiences, new stuff. Like, how
Hmm.
do you balance that out between, gosh, I need to try this out, with,
Yeah.
gosh, I also need to plan for the future. Like, this is because there's that push and pull going on with you at that point in time.
Mhm.
How do you, any tactics you use to
Okay.
kind of make
I'll
sure you you
yeah.
you you keep you stay on
I
the
hear
right lead?
I hear you. So, it's like, oh, I'm in a new country. I want to try this and I want to try that. Yet I want to save. So what you should do is you should pay yourself first. So if you earn $100,
Ah,
first put away $20 or $30, in your savings. And then you spend the rest, and, have a budget, have a plan, and then you try out whatever you have. So this way you're able to balance. You're trying out different things, but you first put the money away. First pay yourself, save it, and then whatever is remaining, you enjoy with it. So that's a way of building self-discipline on finances.
I like when you say pay yourself first, because that's a really good way to think about it. Because we always hear pay yourself first, but we always keep that for
The last.
entrepreneurs who own a business. But
Yeah.
even if you're working and you get
Hmm.
paid a salary,
Hmm.
yeah, the company paid you.
Yeah.
Then pay yourself, like yourself. Like, it's a
Yourself.
really interesting way to think about that thing. Like, just put that money aside, because what you're doing is you're
Exactly.
actually paying your future self.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying your future self some money, and then
Hmm.
you can go do whatever you want to do. Because I mean, like, my first year, I remember, like, some of the mistakes I made with financial issues at the time, and I just laugh. Like, I'm like, gosh, why did I waste so much money? The thing about money is that you always regret it after you've spent it.
Exactly. And there's no point crying over spilt milk.
Yeah,
So it's done.
exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just readjust yourself and just move on with it.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of a bit of still asking the same question, but probably just kind of looking out for mistakes that people make. And
Mhm.
now, considering all these things we talked about, like your how to hit the ground running playbook, in your experience so far, like financial advisor, long time immigrant, like, what are some of the things you see, or like mistakes you see? Or maybe no, let me not use mistakes, because mistakes sounds like a very negative word. But
Mhm.
like things immigrants get wrong or struggle with when they come into a new country. Anyone?
As I said, because uh, not being, expecting, not being open about, not being open to change, expecting, your life to be exactly the same as it was before. So when you move to a different country, it's a different country. So there will be a lot of differences. There will be some differences in the way you live there. But if you're expecting everything to be exactly the way it was, then we may as well have stayed in our own country, right? So to be more open-minded in terms of opportunities, as I said, also, to give up that, to be willing to learn and reset and start again, and maybe you have done a lot of education in some other country, but it's not really valid here. To be open to reset yourself and start, because time is going to pass anyway, so there's no point
Yeah.
regretting, right? So you may as well just upgrade yourself, improve your skills, and basically make yourself ready according to the requirements of the market here, as opposed to just saying, hey, you know what, instead of complaining, a lot of time you'll waste a lot of years of your life just complaining, whining, regretting. Oh, I think I should have just stayed back. Oh, I had such a great house. I had this, I had that back home. There's no point. If and then you can just pack your bags and go back, right? But
Yeah.
so there's no point complaining. You may as well adapt yourself, to adapt yourself as soon as you can. The better it will be for your progress, and then you'll move faster. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. It's so easy to just fall into that complaining mode where
Complaining
it's
mode,
not
exactly.
working, it's not X.
Yeah.
As it was this morning, a friend shared something. I saw it on a friend's Instagram page, or I think his story, like
Mhm.
7 largest economies in the world, and Canada was there. And so when I saw Canada on there, what first thing that came to my mind was, you know, things are expensive right now. Things look
Mhm.
shitty right now. Things are
Mhm.
crazy right now. Like everything looks like a real hot pot of mess right now. But at the same time, like there's still opportunities. And like if you probably spend more time, I know it sounds probably a bit privileged and stuff. And so I'm being careful around that statement. But I feel like the question is, are there opportunities? Yes, there are opportunities. But if you
Yeah.
spend time complaining and whining about the stuff that
Mhm.
can go wrong and will go wrong, whether you like it or not, then you just waste valuable time that you would have
Yeah.
spent looking for stuff to do with the current things that are going on right now.
Exactly. See, every adversity has an opportunity, and that's the best time to have opportunity is when there's adversity. If everything is going fine, then there is no opportunity. So it's always whenever there is silver lining in the cloud. That's and that's you. You have to find your space. Okay, this is what, like, for me, when for me personally, it was. I was working. I was doing a job in telecom, and I was looking for to have a parallel opportunity, and that's the time I realized, oh, financial education is something that is really lacking here in Canada. There's a lot of people who, I would say, lacking, and a lot of people who need to know how money works, right? So that was something that interested me, and I became a part of that. So there's always you have to find what is your interest and what people around you need. So
Mm.
you find, and that's where your opportunity lies, right? So instead of just whining, complaining, and just hoping that somebody's just going to hand out $1 million salary to you, it's not going to happen, right? You have to work your way through. You have to add value to the society. You have to add value to where you are, and that's where you start getting, you'll get the rewards.
Mm. Mm.
If you just want, the problem is that everybody just wants, but we don't never ask ourselves, what can we do? What can we do differently, right? So what can we contribute? So
Yeah. Yeah. Now I want to ask you this question because I find it interesting because of how you see the world. How do you deal with survival mentality as a first gen immigrant? Because you know how first gen, I mean, if your kid, if you had a kid, if you have a kid or your kids, for them it's a bit easier. I mean, daddy and mommy have done most of the work. But as in a
mhm,
first generation immigrant, like you're trying to survive, like how do you deal with that? Like making sure that you're trying to survive,
mhm.
but you're able to kind of look forward into the future and plan and not allow the needs for survival kind of just keep you heads down in the trenches and not doing the work that we just make you do better things in life.
Okay, so whenever you, of course, when you start off, you are in the survival mode, but you need to have a vision. Okay, so this is what I'm doing today, and have this. Okay, I'm going to do this certain job for the next 1 year, 2 years, but this is where I want to, to be. And maybe if you have a partner or a spouse and have common goals, have common financial goals, and work towards them, being planned, having your survival. So, and you know what, the good thing about survival is that you are like a blank sheet of paper. You can write anything, that actually opens opportunities. So when you're in survival mode, you pretty much have nothing to lose, right? So
Hmm.
when you have nothing to lose, you can do anything, right? There is no pressure on you. So it's up to us, how you can take your risks, you can take your chances, you can try your there are if you really wanted to do a certain try out a certain business opportunity or any other kind of opportunity, or wanted to learn something, try out different things. You're a blank slate. So that's the positive side of the survival mode, that you are pretty much on zero. You cannot go below that. So you work towards moving towards 10, 15, yet at the same time have a vision. Okay, how long, what do I want, where do I want to be 5 years from now, personally, financially, and work towards that. Be disciplined about it. Financial discipline, your execution discipline is what
Yeah.
will actually help you move from survival mode to the next mode, right? So
Yeah, I think so. I probably just have two questions for you. I think the first one, first one is, you've been here for a while. What part of your Indian heritage have you kept?
okay.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, what part of your Indian heritage have you kept in this past
Okay.
13 years in Canada?
So what part? So Indian heritage, I would say, in terms of work ethic, I would say, is Indian people in general. They are pretty adaptable. They're hardworking, and I can't make a generalized statement, but in general, they are smart. I can. I don't know if you have. They're good at studies. Academics is a very important part of our culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that part of, to be trying to adapt, be adaptable, be flexible, adaptable. That part of our culture is pretty, that has really helped me. And yet at the same time, keep working hard. Nothing comes easy in life. That is something. There's nothing. There's no. You cannot get anything without putting in the work. That is, the karma, the action. If you don't take action, nothing happens. So you have to work. That is that part of the heritage. The karma action is what the key feature is.
Yeah. And then I think the last one is, what do you miss most about home?
Of course, my family. So my parents are back home, and yeah, I don't really like, when I was new here. Yes, I did, feel, oh, I'm missing home. But now I've realized that actually, when we say India, it's the way I look at it. Okay, it might be completely different from everything. We are, of course, you're in a different country, and it's about a 15-hour flight, 14 to 15 hours of flight to go from Canada, from Toronto to India. It's not a lot of hours actually. It's 15 hours. So in India, if you travel within the country, it takes you more time. So it can take you 20 hours plus, right? So it's not about the distance. It's
Hmm.
actually it's $2,000 away. You know what I mean. So you know what I mean. So if you it's not, it's 15 hours is like nothing. It's not even one day. You can just sleep for 12 hours and you are there. So it's about, if you're saving up and planning properly, you can travel to India very often if you want to. It's just the flight
That's an
ticket is,
interesting way to see
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, the world is one. What's there to miss? And you get everything that you get there. There's so many Indians here. You get, there's nothing. It's, I just sometimes feel you're in another part of India. Actually, if you think about it, there are so many Indians here, right? So if you look at it that way, right? Yeah,
That's a really good way to kind of just repurpose your mind to just
yeah,
accept, okay, like
yeah.
this is not part of India. I mean, like, just a
Yeah.
different kind of India. That's another thing.
Exactly. It's just 15 hours, from away, which is like nothing. It's, so just be disciplined and save enough so that you don't have a problem purchasing a $2,000 ticket anytime. That's the thing. Then it's near. Then it's not far.
Nice. Thank you so much. This has been really good.
Thank you so much, Dawes. It was lovely talking to you.
So yeah, thank you, same here. And thank you so much for the financial. Those are really, really important lessons that people need to take. Because I mean, I'm an example. Like, I know that my first year, like, I made a lot of mistakes. That someday I'll probably have the courage to talk about them. Right now, I'm just trying to fix those mistakes gradually as I move on. But yeah, thank you so much and have a beautiful day.
No worries, no worries. It was lovely. It was really nice talking to you. And thank you for the opportunity to be on your podcast.
As I always say, thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that you got to the end of this episode. Please like, share, comment, give us feedback. You have a topic you want us to cover, please let us know. You have someone who you think might find this useful, please send to them. You have someone who you think we should talk to, please, just leave their name in the comments or something and I will reach out to them. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.